Hello, my name's Josh Woolsey. I'm a local lawyer. I've been in Vistage for 2 years. When I started Vistage, I had approximately 25 to 30 employees, and now I have 85 employees. My revenue's doubled in 2 years, and this has been a great asset and resource for me to build and grow my law firm. Organizations like Rotary Club and BNI and other things similar to that. And I was expecting that Vistage would be somewhat similar. And I had decided that those organizations really weren't bringing the value that I wanted. And so I had the same expectations about Vistage. But a friend of mine who was involved, who's a great CEO, runs an incredible company, recommended that I at least meet with Steve and talk to him about it. So I met with Steve. I was fairly confident this wasn't gonna be for me, but I did it, it's a favor for my friend. And I realized that Vistage is completely different than those other organizations. That it's a group of CEOs with some less experience, some more experience, some in different industries, where they all have different problems, but we all oftentimes have similar issues and we can share our experiences. And so that concept interested me. I also learned that we have incredible speakers from around the country that come and talk about some of the important topics that businesses and CEOs are facing. And so when I heard about all that, I figured I would try it. And I learned immediately that this was a completely different type of organization that I had not been exposed to before. And Steve ran incredible meetings. He kept us on track. He brought in great speakers. He was very selective in who he allowed in the group, and that was important to me. I think oftentimes groups focus on quantity and not quality, and that's not what Steve wanted to build. And so he focused on bringing in really good people, and it allowed for us to have great conversations. And for me, almost every single time I had an issue, someone in the group had experienced something similar and was able to offer great value to me and help me solve my problems. And for anybody who is considering Vistage, I'll tell you something that I experienced that I think a lot of people feel is they think, well, maybe I'm not ready for something like that. Maybe my company needs to be a little bit bigger before I do something like that, before I make that shift, before I really start focusing on being a better CEO or manager of my people, because that's the way I felt. I felt like I wasn't quite there yet, and that maybe Vistage, maybe I should wait for a year or two, maybe my revenue needed to be bigger, maybe I wasn't big enough. And I realized now after being in Vistage for 2 years that thank God I didn't stick with that belief, because the very first meeting I remember leaving with like 8 things on my list that I had to get done, and I immediately went and did them, and it completely shifted my company. And in a short time period, within months, I was seeing results, and my revenue over the 2 years I've been in Vistage, my revenue's more than doubled, and that is largely due to Vistage. And in addition to revenue growing, I actually have a better work-life balance. I'm able to work less. I have less stress than I had before. And that's based on a lot of the tools and principles that Vistage taught me and that I've implemented in my business. So for anybody that thinks, maybe I'm not ready yet, you are ready now. This is the time to do it. And Steve's the perfect person to guide you through all that. It'll be a great experience, and I have no doubt you'll see results within months.
My name's Christian Lehinger, and I'm with a company called Connected Mind. We do mental health screening and testing in primary care doctors' offices. The big thing that Vistage helps with in my world is it brings together a group of experts in different fields, and that's super unique. When I first started this group, I expected it to be like a lead generation group where maybe we shared leads back and forth or somebody knew somebody, but the fact is it's nothing like that. In reality, what it is an advisory group of very high-level executives that are facing, in a lot of cases, the same issues that you're facing, but in different industries. And the crossover creates, like the concept of the book Outliers, it's having experts in different fields that are able to look at what's going on in your field and see it from a totally different perspective. They're facing the same things in a different way. And so a lot of times the solutions that you come up with are very unique, and you wouldn't normally find that by just gathering with people in your own industry. And it's that disparate industry expertise that's unique and special about this. And so that's been the biggest impact for me in being part of a Vistage group. And Steve has been a fantastic chair. The thing that he does that's different from other chairs that I've experienced He's very hands-off, allowing you to work in your own group, but he's very good at making sure that when things start to go off track, he gently nudges you back into the center. But he's not taking the limelight, which I've seen in other groups where it becomes very much about the chair and the chair's personality, and this is very different. This really focuses on the members of the group and the members of the group essentially leading themselves, which is really unique and really fantastic. The biggest thing with Vistage when I first joined was expected it to be a lead generation group. And I thought I was gonna go in and I was gonna meet other people and we would do cross-selling, but the fact is it's nothing like that. And I'm so glad it's not, because there's a million groups like that out there, but there's not a million groups like this.
Hello, my name is Erin Lyons, and I am a Vistage member here with Steve, and I've been here for approximately 6 months. There was a moment within Vistage that I kind of knew what to expect because I was basically pushed by several members for a long time to join. But I do think that once I started coming, I got a totally different experience than what I was expecting. I would say that the moment, my aha moment within Vistage was primarily when I was having some struggles within my organization with one specific high producing sales rep. And we were having a lot of issues with her internally from a culture standpoint and just some of the issues that she was giving back with management decisions and just not being a team player. And internally, there was a lot of discussion over this employee for quite some time because she was such a high producer. Within Vistage, we were able to use my problem to work in the group, which we worked very thoroughly. We talked it to death. But ultimately, it was really great to get feedback from so many different people that's not necessarily in my industry, and it was very unbiased that we were able to make a decision collectively internally, and it really changed the course of our company once we did that. And it was just kind of life-changing for my organization. But it was nice being able to get all the different feedbacks and opinions and questions so that make sure that we really thought through this thoroughly. Obviously, Vistage it's great because you have so many smart people in a room. I think that if there's anybody that's kind of in this plateau space in their management or within their organization, and they're really just kind of stuck at like, we're not growing, we don't know why we're not growing, I'm doing X, Y, Z. Sometimes I think taking that leap by joining Vistage and having other people within similar seats of their business and being able to bounce ideas off of, share information, share knowledge, share experiences, it honestly just really helps one kind of grow. And then from an accountability standpoint, not necessarily just like, am I not doing what I should be doing, but following up the following month, hey, how did that hard conversation go with, employee XYZ?
My name is John Kilgore, CEO of Blue Cord Design and Construction in Orlando, Florida. I've been a member in this group for, I think, going on 7 months now. I recently transitioned into the CEO role from the COO role. I wanted to continue my leadership journey as I've always been exposed to different levels of leadership throughout my career. I wanted to be surrounded with people that were both ahead of me in this journey and behind me in this journey. I think this group is a great group of a mixture of people that are ahead of me and behind me in the journey, so you can provide value to those that are trailing behind you a little bit in time, and I'll obviously garnish everything from those that are going through things that you haven't even gone through yet. He's put together a great group of people that have different life experiences, and it's very diverse, both in industry, in businesses, and business types. I think you get a great exposure. If you're on the fence, there's really no reason why you shouldn't try it out. I guarantee that you're going to get value out of it, even just the first session that you go through. The speakers are exceptional. The camaraderie that you get from the members, you guaranteed after one, you'll be hooked.
My name's Matt Leota. I'm the CEO of Volato Group. We're a publicly traded private aviation company. I've been in Vistage for, 2+ years now. I got introduced to Steve. He was telling me what he was trying to do and a little bit about Vistage. I'd never heard of Vistage. So, I looked into it, and I went to an event with a speaker, and it seemed like the speaker was interesting, and some of the people at the event were people that I would like to get to know. So I decided I would join. That's sort of what I learned along the way, is that the speakers are there not to sell you like in some other organizations, but to help you with your business. And the people that you're surrounded with are all looking to improve themselves and their business, and those are the kind of people I want to spend time with. What's great about the group is to process issues, right? You can talk about things, and sometimes you have it all real clear in your mind, but then when you start explaining it to others, you start to realize that you don't have it as clear as you think in your mind, and that they have an interesting perspective that you might not have considered. And at least for me, it's been a really effective strategy. Steve is especially a great host because he has actual experience in a company with leadership, management issues, all the things that people run into. He's been there. I think he really exemplifies servant leadership, and I think that's what a lot of people aspire to.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Terwilliger. I've been in Vistage for 2 years now. I'm part of the SVR group of companies, which is everything real estate based. We do residential, commercial asset management, title. We also develop and own our own assets as well. So I decided to join Vistage because there was a fellow member of mine that said it would be beneficial for me to join. It's Josh Woolsey. So because he referred me in, he said I would see a lot of benefit, that being that we were both in growing companies. And so he's like, this is something you would benefit from, you should do it. And so I joined right away. There's been multiple different issues throughout the years where I brought to the group, got their perspective on it. Generally speaking, I have transformed our companies and myself into spending a whole lot more time working on the business and in the business. And so if you were to fast forward from 2 years ago to today, I have more time than I had previously. So I'm able to actually make sure that I have enough time to get into the gym in the morning. And then often I'm able to get out by 3 o'clock or so because I like to participate in a lot of my children's sports, whether it be gymnastics, coaching my son's football or whatnot, and put a big emphasis on that because I have a 6 and an 8-year-old. And so that's become very important to me, but we've become just as productive at all the companies, if not more productive along the way. And we're continuing down that path of growth, and more of it is requiring me to be there less every day. Steve's been really good about referencing different books from looking at things from a CEO perspective and how to ramp up your business. And really, again, the number one thing I've learned is working on the business versus in the business every day. And even for some of the new members that I hear come in every day, when I literally hear them, they're like, oh, I'm running my own payroll and I'm doing this. And I couldn't tell you how to run payroll anymore. I couldn't tell you how we onboard our new agents or our employees. I couldn't tell you how we onboard new asset management accounts. I'm not involved in it anymore. So what I've done is realizing that as a CEO, it's my job to manage the company financially, to make sure that we retain and go out and get the best talent possible and put a plan in place for today's growth and future growth, and manage those expectations along the way.
Nick Smith, Loud Canvas Health and the Visitor Intelligence Platform. I've been a member of Vistage for a little over a year now. When I first met Steve, he approached me after church one Sunday and we started having conversations about business and what we do for work. And I could immediately tell that this was a guy who was genuine and knew his stuff. After a little bit of further conversation with him, it turns out he's run $1 billion line of business for Crowley before, and I knew if there was anybody that I wanted to learn from, him and his gang were the guys that I wanted to be next to. What I've found in my experience at Vistage is that it's a group of highly motivated executives that are excited about business growth, not only the business growth that they're pursuing for themselves, but those amongst the group as well. And so oftentimes I'd come in and share my experiences with them. And before you know it, I've got multiple people telling me different ways that I could approach getting to a resolution. It's been extremely beneficial in my last year.